Just got this phone call today from this guy. His name's Corey. I answered the phone. I said, "Hello, this is Brian." And he says, "Brian, Corey, I'm calling to let you know that you guys do more than just buy ugly houses." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "When I first called you, I thought you guys just came out and stole people's houses." And we get that a couple times. He says, "What you guys really do is you save people's lives." And I'm like, "Well, that's a little bit overstating, don't you think?" He goes, "No, you saved my life." You see, Corey has a house up in Ballard, or had a house. We just closed on it. He called us one day and said, "I'd like you to come up and take a look at my house." He owed $80,000 on his house. Fixed up, put $35,000 into it. It's probably worth about $350,000. So the house is a wreck. He didn't have $35,000 because 5 years ago he just got divorced. Kind of a downward spiral ever since he got divorced. And a year ago he just lost his job of 22 years. So that was kind of the straw that broke Corey's back, essentially. Didn't pay his mortgage for 12 months. He got his final notice that the auction was going to happen a week before he called me, or the auction was a week before he called me. Week after, excuse me. So he calls me up and says, my house is going to auction next week, can you guys help me? And we went up there and visited with him for a long time. And see, Corey, I said, "How do you get in this situation? How do people get here?" And he looked me right in the eye with kind of tears in his eyes a little bit, and he said, "I didn't think this would ever happen to me." He's a smart guy. His life just started going downhill, and he put his head in the sand, is what he said to me. So long story short, we were able to buy Corey's house. Well, first thing I did was push back that auction date, so we weren't pressed for time. And we were able to give him, he walked away from the closing table after paying some liens and whatnot that were there from his wife and his or his past. Credit cards that he thought were closed that still had a balance of $10,000 or $15,000. Corey walked away with $40,000 from the escrow office, and I helped him figure out how to buy a manufactured home to put on a piece of property that he had bought 20 years ago. He never thought he could get a house on that property. He never thought he could afford to put any sort of structure on this property that was on a lake up in Gold Bar. I mean, really far out there. So Corey calls me and says, "Brian, I just put $30,000 on my manufactured home. The septic is going to cost me $5,000 to put in. I'll be in my house in 6 weeks, they tell me. And if I hadn't called you, Brian, I would have been sitting there without a penny to my name." I was a week away from losing everything. And Homevestors came in and put money in my pocket, pulled my head out of the sand, and helped me get on with my life. He said, "If I hadn't have done anything," and then he started to cry. And this is a guy that doesn't cry. A very, very strong guy. You see, we buy ugly houses, is what it says, but we solve ugly situations. Every house we buy, every appointment we go to has a story behind it. Every life that we're able to encounter, every living room that we sit in, people have problems with their homes, and they need them solved. We're not able to help every one of them. I wish we could. Some people, they have that same kind of house. It's worth $300,000 and they owe $400,000, and they just don't know what to do. But we can visit with them, and we can point them in a direction to help, give them help, and get their problem solved. So if you know somebody that's got a major or a minor problem with real estate, let me know. I'd love to visit with them. It doesn't matter if we're there to buy their house. Those houses will be there. But real estate can be a wonderful thing for people, but I've realized in this business in the last 3 years, it can be a chain around somebody's ankle, dragging them underwater. And once we can unlock that chain from their ankles, they can get on with their life. So our goal is to make every real estate transaction we touch is a win for everybody. So if you know of anybody that just needs to learn what they can do with their problem real estate, or they want to jump into real estate, don't know how to buy it, we can help. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.